All right, we are live. Welcome, welcome. Good morning. Great to see everyone. So we always start on time here. My father always said never be late. And if you're not 5 minutes early, you are late. But we're not that hardcore here. So we're going to start at 11 o'clock. And don't worry, this video will be recorded. If you have to jump off, the recording will be here. We'll have lots of great information for you today. So let me start by introducing myself. My name's Robert O'Keefe. I've been a licensed real estate broker since 2009, if you can believe it. Have a ton of experience, and presently I live in Monmouth County with my wife and my two sons. And basically the whole goal of our group and our company is to help people make educated decisions when they're relocating. We love helping people in advance. We have a 100% no pressure policy, and pretty much anyone is invited to reach out and go online to our website, use our resources, and pretty much ask us any questions with a no pressure attitude. With the internet, it's a huge blessing. There's a lot of information online. But what we found in our niches is we take that information and we kind of put a human element to it. We can adjust it very easily. We're very good and we're a very tech savvy company. And pretty much we can kind of cater any search you're looking to, any type of community, whether it's a condo. Some people reach out to us. They say, give me a 55 plus community, but maybe I'm not into that. Maybe just a single level solution. And it's pretty much customizable to your needs. That's what makes this business so much fun, is it's very customizable and everybody's different. Everybody has different preferences and different needs. So with that being said, let's get into what we're going to be talking about today. Quick housekeeping too. We're going to be running these videos every week. On Thursday, we'll go live. If you have a topic that you want to cover, you can always reach out to us and we can cover that for you. The more participation, the better. This group is very much about the community. We're here to serve you. We're servant leaders. And just the more feedback you give us, the more information that you want covered, we'll do the research for you. We'll use our experience. And we'll tell you our stories of basically the things we encounter. So a lot of them are pretty interesting. So that being said, let's go into today's topic. So today we're going to learn the pros and cons of aging in place versus the pros and cons of an over 55 community. Now there's pros and cons to everything. There's risk in doing everything. So there's not one thing that's better or another. You know, the people that tell you one avenue is better than another are charlatans. You know, it's really, the truth is, it's really about you, and it's really about the pros and cons of what you want to accomplish, and pretty much the pros and cons of which avenue you choose. So, the first thing we're going to go into is aging in place. Now, that's actually a real word. We looked it up by the National Institute of Aging, and pretty much aging in place simply means growing old in your current place of residence. Very, very simple, and you probably guessed that. So aging in place essentially is pretty much like what a lot of people plan to do. Nobody plans to really move. A lot of people move into their forever homes, they call it, so it's very psychological. And there's a lot of pros and cons to doing that. Now, aging in place, so these are, a lot of times we reach out to people, they love their house. A lot of people say they're going to get carried out of here feet first, which is cool. But there's also pros and cons and risk to doing that. So one of the pros in aging in place is it's very familiar. People have raised their kids in there generally. People are very comfortable. Think about your daily routine, just going to the grocery store, going to your favorite barber. Pretty much when you move, you're going to have to adjust all these things if you're moving to a different location. So a lot of times life becomes very habitual. Especially as you grow older, we find that you don't have the energy needed to kind of, move around. Like we tend to move around a little bit more when we're younger. So a lot of times you'll find that people will just kind of like stay where they are and just kind of get in the habit and just kind of get in the flow of just staying in their current place instead of just going out and kind of just like exploring a new option. So the benefits and the pros of doing that are it's very familiar. 2, you have a strong social network. 3, you know where everything is. There's a lot of just benefits to familiarity. Now the challenge is as we age, a lot of times the main problem people have is with stairs. There's a lot of stairs in units. Stairs could be very precarious. Tell you a story. So about my grandmother, she actually relocated to an apartment, and the apartment had stairs in it. And very sad story. So one day she was going up the stairs. She lost her balance and fell, and basically was kind of like debilitated for the rest of her life. So stairs can be very dangerous. You can have a false kind of sense of confidence if the stairs are in your house. In my grandmother's story, she actually ended up relocating, but this is a good example of relocating to the wrong solution, because we always have like a lot of confidence. We've gone upstairs hundreds of times, probably thousands of times in our life, and you always want to get kind of like eliminate any variables, because we all think we could do something, but it's not always the case. Now, so stairs, I lost my train of thought there. I digress. So stairs can be very precarious, and generally we see people downsizing from split levels, bi-levels, colonials. All those houses have stairs in it. A story about my father-in-law. He built his house and grew up in, basically raised his family in Fairfield, New Jersey. He wanted to downsize to be closer to his three daughters, my wife. And pretty much he didn't have any stairs at all. He was in a perfect situation, but he wanted to like relocate to be closer to family. So this was a case where he didn't have any stairs at all, and he was like fine staying where he was. But the cons of doing that were he was going to miss a lot of his events with his family, doing a lot of driving time between Fairfield and Monmouth County. That's like a lot of time doing sleepovers at one of the houses, and he wanted to have his own personal space. So that goes into another challenge of aging in place. If you have family members that are out of the area, it could be very challenging and time consuming if you just keep driving back and forth trying to get someplace. I have a neighbor. He's kind of like a very deep guy, and one of his favorite quotes that I like is, "If you live more than 15 minutes from your family member, you might as well live in a different state." So it's really all about just kind of like relocating to a need that would serve you and basically what you're trying to accomplish. So that is one of the challenges. In addition to stairs, is just like being away from family and friends in a different location. Now, another challenge with aging in place is the modifications. So modifications can get very expensive. And what I mean by this is the one modification we always think of is stair lifts. Now, stair lifts are very expensive. Pretty much they require some maintenance. I don't have the exact figures, but you have to maintain them. And basically that will help get you up and down the stairs if you do choose to stay in your home. The other modifications are system failures, the biggest one being roofs. So roofs can cost anywhere from $20,000 to $30,000 on average, and those are out-of-pocket costs that you would have to pay instead of financing those. I mean, you could take on debt. It's not advisable generally in that age bracket, but $20,000 to $30,000 is another out-of-pocket cost that nobody thinks of that could be coming down the line. You want to take care of that sooner or later. A lot of people do home inspections, the roof checks out, and then you fly through it from that standpoint. So just know if your roof is getting like in the 10 is fine usually, but 15, 20 year age mark, generally you're on that breaking point. We've seen roofs go sometimes as long as 20 years, but something to be aware of going down the pipeline there. Now, there's also hot water heaters. Those are easy. Those are about $2,000 to change out. Heating systems are a little bit more expensive, $7,000. But these are all things if like you're trying to save money, for your retirement, just making sure you have that strong cash reserve in your bank. You want to have all these things taken care of, and you might want to get ahead of these things and start looking for a relocation solution. So that's the story with aging in place. Now, the last thing we'll go into, which we're going to go into more into the next section, is social isolation risks. If you're not near family and friends, it could get very lonely, especially having the memories of your house, and now it's a totally different ball game with you, just yourself staying there. So it's kind of like a little bit of a different situation and a different vibe, as they say these days. So that's something to be cognizant of, and that's a real thing. You definitely want to be around your loved ones if that's what you're into. Some people want to be alone. Some people want to have their privacy. It really depends on the person. Now, let's go into the next section, understanding 55 plus living. Now, 55 plus living, so let's go into the benefits first. Number one, it's a low maintenance lifestyle. So I just got off the phone with a gentleman that just wanted everything taken care of, basically snow removal, lawn cut, pretty much everything, trash taken out. And these communities offer that, which is very exciting. So pretty much all you have to do, like if you're a snowbird and you go to Florida, you could just easily just shut your door and get on the plane and go without any worries. No landscaping company, no shoveling your snow, no risk of getting sued if you're not shoveling your sidewalk. Pretty much these communities have a very strong HOA that takes care of these people, because generally these people that live in these communities don't want to deal with this. So it's a very low maintenance lifestyle. Now, another thing is just like the quaintness and the downsizing aspect of it. So we recently helped a couple move from Little Silver. They actually got more space in their 55 plus solution than they did in their other place. Most notably, they have a basement now where they didn't have a basement before for storage. So it's sometimes common where you can get things that you don't have in your 55 plus solution. But what's more common is just having solutions where you can downsize a little bit and just have a much more simplified type of lifestyle. So the downsizing aspect, less things to take care of, those are the benefits. Generally speaking, we're only in a few rooms of our house. I spoke to another gentleman the other day. He says, I really just watch TV, I go to the kitchen, then I go to bed. And I said, same with me. So we're kind of like each other in that event. So it's kind of like you're just kind of managing yourself in these 3 rooms anyway, and it's a lot less maintenance, a lot less things to take care of. So let me just got a message here. So great. I just want to give a comment to Josephine, and just thanks for coming on. I'm not sure if I can see the comments. My associate Kim is on the comments, and she can message me what you're saying. I can't see the comments just now, but Kim's going to just let me know. And if you guys have any questions, or if you guys have any questions or anything you want me to cover at the end, I'm happy to do so. But thanks, Josephine, for stepping on today. So let me just go through and keep going through the benefits here. So another benefit is the built-in social network and activities. So every community is different from this standpoint. One of the things we do in our consultations is figure out what you're into. Now, some people don't want to bother with the activities. Some people want a pool. Some people like playing pool. Some people like playing bocce. So we can actually narrow down the communities based on which activities that you want to participate in. One community, Greenbrier 1 in Brick, has the Stitch and Bitch Club. Those are their words, not mine. And pretty much this is a group of ladies that like crocheting, stitching, knitting, and pretty much talking smack, I guess, and shooting the breeze. So very cool activity there. My sister does a lot of crochet, my sister-in-law. So if that's what you're into, there's a lot of great social groups. On a more serious note, I was speaking to my neighbor whose basically father-in-law is in Pleasant Hills and Toms River. And her father-in-law developed a really great social circle with a few gentlemen. He's actually a widower. And pretty much these guys look after each other. They go for walks. They chicken in on each other. So it's very healthy from that standpoint, just to have new friends and just new acquaintances to just be a part of. So they're pretty vibrant. The clubhouse is generally the center of all these communities. They're pretty much designed the same way. They're built around the same time in the 60s or 80s. And they're pretty much all over Monmouth and Ocean County. So you can basically go online. You can basically contact us in our consultation. Like I said, we're happy to talk to you about your interest and discuss what your interests are and what you like to do, and kind of curate a list from there. Now, another benefit is the fitness centers and pools. A lot of these clubs have built-in fitness centers, so very easy just to go in and pretty much join. And you don't have to join, like generally it's part of your HOA. You can join the pool It's great for family visiting. It's great for like a small gym, treadmills, just to stay active and fit. My grandfather was in his 90s and basically went to the gym every day in his community. So he built in that habit just to keep moving and to stay younger. So just give me a library and I'm fine. I love that. Yeah, a lot of these places do have great libraries, Josephine, that you can just grab the books and return the books. There's like book clubs. So that's a great thought there. So there's that too. So addition to the fitness centers and staying active, a lot of these places are located near medical facilities. So remember, they're kind of newer-ish. Some of them are built in the 70s, 80s. The most common development we see are built around the 60s down here. So a lot of them are built around hospitals. A lot of them are built around major big box stores. A lot of grocery services delivered to these communities. So they really built these communities with the consumer in mind, which is generally someone over 55 plus, which is someone 55 years and older. So they have great access to healthcare. They're very safe. They're very insulated. They're very private. They're very secure. And you pretty much have everything you need right around the community. So there's a lot of benefits. Every community has their own benefit. If you have something that you're interested in or a community that you're interested in, you can always reach out. Our website is over55nj.homes. And basically what this will do is it will take you to our website and it will narrow down all the 55 plus communities on the market currently. We have every listing. And pretty much you can curate a list yourself. If you want to narrow down and save listings, you can just reach out to us and we can just basically curate a list based on your activities, based on what's important to you. And like I said, there's pros and cons to every community. This is just kind of a broad general overview. Now the challenges. Like I said, nothing comes without challenges, so we have to be aware of these things to make a strong, educated decision. The biggest challenge people have is community rules. I was just talking to someone. I forgot the name he called, like the HOA command, like an HOA commando or a condo commando, and some of them are out there in different communities. But I personally never had a problem with any of my customers. Generally speaking, like if you keep to yourself, there may not be, you may not be able to paint your house a certain color. There may be certain rules that way. But generally speaking, everybody gets along with each other. They want it to be a nice place to live. And I haven't really heard any stories. I'm sure some people have heard stories. I'd love to hear them about condo commandos just running a strong authoritarian regime in these communities. Generally, they're like a very nice place to live. They're very laid back. If you have a problem with authority, it may not be a place for you, and we can definitely explore different like condos or maybe like single family solutions. Some people kind of like want to be like completely free and without any HOA oversight. We totally understand that. There's nothing wrong with that. But we do hear some stories on the internet about like kind of like authoritarian HOAs, I guess like regulating rules a little bit too much. The HOAs are generally very well run. One of the general cons is rising HOA fees across the state. So the HOA fees are kept very low in these communities. And the reason that is the community knows the end user in mind. And they know basically that people don't want to spend a high monthly fee month over month. So generally speaking, every HOA, the way to look at it is every HOA is a small business. And a small business is run with a budget. So in order to bring income into that small business, what we see a lot of times is there's a higher maintenance fee to join. We call it the welcome to the neighborhood fee. So you pay like, let's say for example in Cheesequake, I just made a emoji there. That was cool. Let's take Cheesequake Village, for example, in Manawan. They recently increased their welcome to the neighborhood fee to $2,000 from $1,500. So by doing that, by charging the new incoming residents more money, they're keeping that HOA fee down. And their HOA fee I checked was only about $175, $190, which is very low for an HOA fee right now in New Jersey. So one of the cons to the community living is you're buying into a small business. You want to make sure that association is strong. And we can help you do due diligence on that, especially before we sign on the dotted line. That's one of our biggest checks and balance, is we want to make sure you're buying into a strong community with strong financials, because you're all on the ship together. and you want to make sure that ship is very strong financially. The other con is adjusting to a new environment. So when you're moving to a new place, there is a little bit of an adjustment. A lot of these communities have orientation where you get to know people and you get to know, like in Shadow Lake, for example, they have their new orientation every Thursday. Basically, you go there, you can see what clubs to join, you can meet some new residents as well, and they do a good job of welcoming you to the community. So if you don't like change, it may be a little bit of a challenge, but you'll find yourself getting acclimated pretty much sooner than you thought. A lot of people just we always place people in the right communities for them. We do a good job, so we want to make sure you're in the right place and something that you're comfortable with to kind of minimize that con. Now, the last thing we'll go into is financial considerations. So financial planning. We recommend getting ahead of this as soon as possible. The average 55 plus community in New Jersey right now is trading for $370, and the average single family house is trading for $770. So a lot of times people are selling their houses to buy these communities, to buy their units in cash. So it's a very advantageous place to be in. We're seeing a lot of people just pay the cash and eliminate their mortgage, and you'll be surprised about how low your monthly payment is. Oh wow, $5,000 at Greenboro Marlboro. Yeah, so wow, that's a big welcome to the neighborhood fee. Thanks for commenting on that, Josephine. Yeah, that's a high one. So yeah, you definitely want to make sure you're researching your welcome to the neighborhood fees before you buy too, because they can come as a sticker shock for the community. So let's go into the financial considerations. So a lot of times people will sell their home and pay cash for their unit and just eliminate their monthly expenses, usually by 2/3, sometimes a half even. And you'll be surprised what kind of numbers we're getting for the single family house. There's still a lot of millennials that have to buy houses. There's an inventory shortage in New Jersey. So if you're interested in that, we're happy to help and put a consultation plan together. We have a number of different loan products too that will take our clients out of a contingency sale status. That's a whole nother call and probably will be next week's topic if we can go into how to finance the purchase and plan ahead for that. So there's a lot of financial considerations. The biggest con is if you have your mortgage paid off already. About 40% of mortgages are paid off across the country. It's a great spot to be in. Generally, you'll be able to buy your next place in cash, but it's nice to have your paid off house and your paid off home that you raised your kids in, that you've been in for years. So just something to be aware of there. You just want to run the monthly numbers before you sign on your dotted line. And then there's the, of course, is understanding your long-term care needs and costs. Long-term care is going to get very expensive, especially with the baby boomers, with how many baby boomers there are using this service. So we're projecting, speaking to my financial advisor and just doing research, we're expecting these costs to go up. So if you do have to sell, if you do want to get ahead of it, it's very prudent to do that, especially if you have a mortgage, especially if you have a high tax payment. Some towns in New Jersey have a $20,000 tax bill at least. So you can get into these. The taxes are very low. The HOAs are generally very low. You just have to watch out for those welcome to the neighborhood fees at Greenbrier Marlboro, and you'll be okay there. So we'll end on this. We'll end on lifestyle and social factors. It really depends on you and your why. I'm not going to pretend that moving's not a lot of work. Moving's without challenges. That's why we created our site, to help people get acclimated, to help people get comfortable, and to help people feel welcome. So when the time comes, we can help them make the best educated decision. They're basically well researched. They're comfortable with us. We've done the research and we've basically narrowed it down for all the communities, for all the options out there. We narrowed down the best option for you. And that being said, it may not be a 55 plus community. You may want a single family house outside of one, something on one level. You may want a condo. That's fine too. It may, that's what's fun about real estate, and that's what's fun about this business, is it really depends on what you want and what your goals are. So that being said, moving's a lot of work. It's important to take into account why you're doing this. The most common is being close to family and friends, just getting there, just being part of their grandparents' lives. That's a big one. A lot of people are just downsizing. They just have too much house and they're just kind of planning as they age, and they're just trying to get ahead of the game. The average person that comes across us probably moves within 1.5 to 2 years. So we'd love to hear from you. You can reach out to us at over55nj.chat and schedule a call. Our email is over55nj@gmail.com. And you can always send me a direct message. A lot of you are already in contact with me, and I'm always here as a no-pressure resource for you. We're a small business. We love helping people and working with you guys directly, and your feedback's important. So if you have some topic ideas as well, we're happy to go over those with you and happy to cover those next month. Now, let's open it up to questions, and we can wrap from there. And again, feel free to keep the dialogue going. Happy to continue any conversations. If you're feeling pressure on the live video, you can always message me directly. It's not a test. Let's see, Kim, do we have any questions? Or any common questions we can answer before we break? What are the biggest costs associated with aging in place? So I would say the biggest costs are, one, long-term care assistance, visiting angels, help like that. Oh, look at my thumbs up. So long-term care costs are very, very expensive. But two is what we were talking about is a lot of the mechanical and system failures. The roof being number one, $20,000 to $30,000. The AC, at least $7,000. Kind of like as your home ages, it becomes worth less in some cases. Sometimes that kitchen is from the 80s or 90s and it's very outdated. And a lot of times, people don't want to put money in to update the house. So houses sometimes don't age like fine wine, and especially the system and mechanical failures. So I would say those are the biggest expenses with aging in place: long-term care assistance and mechanical and system failures. Now, the next question is, how do I choose the right 55 plus community for my lifestyle? So very fun. It's a very personal experience. You might want to just grab like a pen and a paper, a nice cup of coffee or tea, and just on a Sunday morning, just write out everything that's important to you. I recently met this wonderful gentleman today. He's moving down to Ocean County, and he actually had a pros list, a must not have list, and a like to have list. Like, so organized. I'm like, man, I might steal this. This is awesome. If you want to simplify it, we recommend someone having like a top 5 list and just going out from there. Price point you want to stay below. Another secret is go by the monthly payment and not the price point. Just to understand your monthly expenses, we can help you calculate that and understand what's important to you in the community. Maybe you want a pool, like my mother. My mother loves to swim. She wants a pool. You want to have a community with a pool. The most important probably I would say is location. Do you want to be by family? What part of the state do you want to be in? Location is very important when making these decisions, and it kind of grounds a lot of the decisions from a lot of the customers we work with. And finally, last question is, are there hybrid options where I can get the best of both worlds? What a great question. Yeah, so there are. It really depends on the community. Some communities are very they're not even communities. They're just like a set of like units on a street. So if you want one of those, we have those available, and we can kind of curate a list for you. The pros with those are there's not a lot of, the HOA fees tend to be very low because there's not a lot to take care of. There's not a lot of, there's not a pool to take care of. There's not a clubhouse. There's not a staff to run. So there's the hybrid option from that standpoint. We recommend townhouses too. Kind of hard to find a townhouse without stairs, so we would say be cognizant of that. But there's also like condos, which is good. We had a customer last week say, just get me a condo or 55 plus, it doesn't matter. And then finally, one of my favorite hybrid options, there's like a small ranch or a small cape with a bedroom on the first floor where you can just kind of have your house and own it outright. So there's definitely those options as well. And then we'll get a question in from Josephine. Thank you. I'm concerned about the condo commandos. We're going to steal that term. I just heard that today. I thought it was hilarious. How worried should I be? It really depends on the community that you're looking in. We haven't really heard any stories. We definitely want to open up the community and just definitely want to be open and transparent with our members, and just want to hear we'll let you know if we hear something too. But it really depends on what you want to do. The houses are generally like simplified and straightforward. You can put a bird feeder out there. I just did a deal in Greenbrier 2. This is another Greenbrier. And basically, the client wanted to do some landscaping work. That's okay with approval. They generally just want what's best for the community. You can put like bushes. You can just make the condo look nice, and pretty much in that case, they would have had to get approval from the board just to do some landscaping outside. And the landscaping was it just needed work. It was very like overgrown. So there's really no reason why you can't create win-wins that way, especially if you're adding value to your unit. Now, one of the biggest things is because these are condos, you don't have to get approval from the renovations inside. So, for example, if you wanted to renovate something, you can just pretty much do it in most cases. If you want to renovate your kitchen, if you wanted to, renovate your bathroom, for example, the thing we hear about most is co-ops. So the difference between condos and co-ops is you have a lot more control for the condos and what's going on inside your walls. That's generally the best way to look at it and the most simplified way to look at it. That if it's inside your walls and it's a condo, you have authority to make those moves. Now, you generally have to get the right permits from the town and just don't sidestep it that way. But you have control of what's going inside your walls. If you want to put a bird feeder outside, that should be fine in most cases. If you want to do some landscaping, there's really not a ton that you could be doing outside. I mean, it's a very simplified way of living, and I don't think you should have a problem. But if anybody has some stories, we'd love to hear those, and we'd love to share as much information as possible. Awesome question. All right. This was a lot of fun. This will be the first of many. We'll see you next week, and we'll get some messages out in the group. See if any more questions are coming in. We'll get some messages out in the group of pretty much what everybody's interested in. We definitely want to make this group customer-centric. So we work for you guys. If you have something you want covered, if you want something for us to research, we put time into this. So we can definitely do research. If we don't know the answer, we'll always do the research to get you the right answer. So just let us know. And we love you guys. We're here for you. And just let us know if you have any questions. If you need to reach us, we're just a direct message away. The email address is over55nj@gmail.com. If you want to join our YouTube channel, we have a lot of great content there. You can just go to over55nj, search that in YouTube, or just go to over55nj.com. And I think it should, you could be able to jump on the YouTube channel and just join there and subscribe. That would mean a lot to us. All right, so let us know if you have any questions. All the best. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you on the next one.